Hey guys, it's Shy of the Shy Narwhal. The Walt Disney Company has been around since 1923 and has made countless movies and shorts. However, there are also countless films and projects that have been canceled over the years for one reason or another. Today, I'm going to be going over 5 Disney films that have been canceled. Let's get into it. A CGI prequel of the 1937 film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The idea of the film is that they would turn it into a direct-to-DVD film series, similar to how the Tinkerbell films were in the late 2000s and early 2010s. Dwarfs began production in 2005 and was to be directed by Mike Disa, who also directed the short film The Origin of Stitch, which was a bonus feature on the Lilo and Stitch 2 DVD. The plot of the film was going to start with Grumpy and Dopey, who were roped into going on a quest in the Old Lands. While on their quest, they meet and are joined by the other 5 dwarfs along the way. Throughout their journey, the dwarfs are hunted by a wizard and come across a woman named, I'm going to say Narcissa? I don't know if that's right, but I'm going to call her Narcissa. It's that. The dwarfs care for her like they will with Snow White. However, Narcissa makes several bad decisions, which results in her eventually turning on the dwarfs and them finding out that the evil wizard was her father. The film would have ended with Narcissa dethroning Snow White's father and the dwarfs having to hide away from the now evil queen. During the film's production, Disa was suggested by an exec to add a reason for Dopey not having a voice, or to give Dopey a voice altogether, both of which Disa refused to do. Disney purchased Pixar Animation Studios for $7.4 billion, and John Lasseter was then the chief creative officer for Walt Disney Animation Studios. This led to the cancellation of many Disney Toon Studios projects, one of which being Dwarfs. Disney Toon Studios became defunct in June 2018, so it is near impossible that this film will ever be picked up again. In 1941, the Walt Disney Productions animated film Dumbo was released. The classic film stars a young circus elephant named Jumbo Jr., who was given the nickname Dumbo due to his giant ears. The film was Disney's most successful film of the 1940s financially, and got multiple re-releases in theaters afterward. Jumping forward a few decades, Disney was releasing several straight-to-DVD sequels and prequels to their past animated films, all of which were produced by Disney Toon Studios. Dumbo was not going to be an exception. A sequel, simply titled Dumbo 2, was to be directed by Robert C. Ramirez and was scheduled for release in 2001. A sneak peek of the film that was on the Dumbo 60th anniversary DVD release is available online.
Now, experience the all-new adventure of a lifetime as the classic story continues. Join us for a sneak peek behind the scenes of the production of Walt Disney's Dumbo 2. The legacy began when Walt Disney became captivated by the original story of a baby elephant with big ears and an even bigger heart.
It was a little book with about eight illustrations in it with an elephant with big ears. I got it from Walt. He said, see what you can do with this.
It's a great lesson for all of us, whether we're 2 years old or 70 years old. We all are different, and we ultimately all do belong.
A lot of people said, oh, it always makes me cry. I mean, it was quite believable.
The challenge will be in making a sequel that does the same.
The film was shelved in 2002, then picked up again in 2005, and was intended to be released in 2007. There was even a Dumbo 3 in the works. However, the film had the same fate as Dwarfs did when in 2006, John Lasseter became Chief Creative Officer of Disney Animation Studios. The film and its sequel were both canceled.
Where the wild things are.
Where the Wild Things Are is a short children's picture book that was published in April of 1963. The book has had a couple film adaptations, an animated short from 1973, and a live-action film from 2009. In 1983, however, John Lasseter wanted to adapt the film into a Disney feature-length animated film. The film was to have the same plot as the original book, and was to be animated with 2D characters in a 3D environment. The film was ultimately canceled. There are a few animation tests that are available to watch online, but there are a few that have never been released to the public. Yellow Submarine is an animated film inspired by the music of the Beatles and was released in 1968 to critical and audience acclaim. Over 40 years later, Disney announced that they will be releasing a motion-captured remake of the film. Motion capture was a short-lived animation style that was used often in the late 2000s and early 2010s. The Yellow Submarine remake was to be released in 2012 for the Summer Olympic Games that were taking place in London that year. However, A Christmas Carol and Mars Needs Moms failed financially, and Disney shut down Image Movers Digital in 2011. As a result, the remake of Yellow Submarine was cancelled. Similar to Where the Wild Things Are, there are a few animation tests that are available to the public. And had numerous film adaptations, with its most well-known one being The Wizard of Oz in 1939. The Walt Disney Company has also released a few films based on the famous story, Return to Oz in 1985, and Oz the Great and Powerful in 2014. However, Walt Disney had wanted to create a film based on The Wonderful Wizard of Oz ever since before the 1939 film came out. Walt then bought the copyrights to 11 of the other books in 1954. Walt's idea was to create a live-action series of episodes for the Disneyland TV series that would star the Mouseketeers. In April of 1957, a 2-episode storyline was submitted called Dorothy Returns to Oz. However, in August of that year, the project had been renamed to The Rainbow Road to Oz and was to be developed as a feature-length film.
What is this?
Well, it's sort of a book about Oz.
Oh?
Well, it isn't exactly a book. It's more of a shooting script.
Shooting script?
I guess we'd better explain the whole thing to you.
Yes, I think I'd like that.
Are you comfortable?
I'm comfortable.
Well, it's like this, Mr. Disney. The studio owns all the Oz stories, right?
Right.
And we've got to think of our future. We can't be Mouseketeers forever. Yeah, we're not getting any younger. We thought if we could do the Oz picture for you that maybe you'd let us...
Now, I'm going to make a picture out of the Oz stories, but I always figured to make it as a cartoon.
When? Takes you 7 or 8 years to make a cartoon feature, doesn't it?
Well, you got me. What's your proposition?
In early 1958, there was no further information about the development of this project, and eventually it kind of just got swept under the rug. So that's going to be pretty much it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post new videos every Monday at 5 p.m. Central Time. If you have any suggestions for videos, comment those down below. I make videos about lost media, internet mysteries. Basically, if I find it interesting, I'll talk about it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
So pretty. Travel light and see the world right. You'll never know if you never go. So run away with me and say hello to New York City. And say